Hello, Bachelor Nation, and welcome to the first episode of Will You Accept This Rose? I'm everyone's favorite host that's not Chris Harrison, Veronica Gail. Alongside me is Ash Steffer and Haley Zemek. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, Veronica. Glad to be here. Excited to talk Bachelorette with you.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here, and I cannot believe this season went so quick. I feel like we just ended Clare, and now we're at the end, basically, and it just went so quick.
Oh, absolutely. So this was a season like no other. I mean, two Bachelorettes, a season in the middle of a pandemic. How do we feel that the pandemic affected the show? Haley, we'll start with you.
Well, overall, just viewing, I felt like the show ran very smooth. They did group dates. They did one-on-one dates. They had hometowns, which is what happens each season. But I think the main thing is just what the contestants had to go through before the show actually started taping, having to quarantine, having to do testing for 2 weeks, and only being able to stay at their resort in Palm Springs, which is the La Quinta. So overall, those were the main things, but the show ran just like it normally does. They didn't get to travel as much, where they normally go to different cities and other countries, but overall, COVID didn't have that much of an impact as one might think, but yeah.
So I'll definitely agree with that. I kind of thought it affected a little bit more, especially because I feel like travel is such a big component of the show, and where are they going next, and then the big exotic place that they have the fantasy suites and the whole proposal and everything. But I think if anything, it made it a little bit more genuine, because it was kind of like regular life, because what you do on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette is so unrealistic to what really happens, I guess, in real life dating, or at least conventional dating. And I think it was nice too for some of the dates how they got to bring their hometown there, and how I think it was Zach did the bagels with her, and how it would be them in the city, as opposed to their everyday is not going to be in Belgium like they would on a normal season. And I think it kind of made it a little bit more realistic.
I completely agree with Ash. A lot of the dates were, instead of we're bungee jumping off a cliff in New Zealand, it was more of, we're going to watch a movie and play some board games like it would be in real life, or we're going to paint and sip wine or something, something that you would actually maybe do in real life. And that was nice to see. I also thought it was cool as a contestant, you just get to miss the pandemic and kind of live in this fantasy world. That's pretty cool. So good for them for kind of not having to deal with the pandemic. I thought that worked for them. But let's dive in. So this was the only season ever where there was two Bachelorettes. As we started the season with Clare, the oldest Bachelorette in history of the show. So what did we think of Clare? Ash, we'll start with you.
All right. So I was excited initially about Clare. I was okay, I've seen her a bunch of times before, so it's not that buildup of getting to know her or anything like that. But then she honestly kind of disappointed me. I had kind of already knew that she was going to leave with someone, and that because I saw over the summer on social media, oh, Tayshia's there, this, that. And then kind of in some of the promos, they hinted at it and showed Tayshia, or at least part of her and everything. But she was honestly very disappointing, I think. I don't want to be mean at all, because I couldn't imagine ever being the Bachelorette and having 30 or however many men, going after me. But for someone who is so seasoned and such a veteran to the whole Bachelor franchise, I just feel like she could have done a little bit better. And I almost also feel to production, they made her season, or at least her segment of the season, a little bit too long, I would say, because I think I've enjoyed the content with Tayshia and the men and their experiences with her far more than seeing Clare and Dale's whole little relationship pan out.
I definitely have to agree. I at first really liked Clare when she had her first episode and they did the introductions and she had her first cocktail party. I really admired her for her strength and the courage that she had, kind of being the oldest Bachelorette. But over time, as her relationship with Dale started to grow and she started to become uninterested in the other men, I kind of lost interest in the show. So I was really excited when she went off with Dale, just because she would be leaving. So I was really happy when they introduced Tayshia to be the Bachelorette that would be taking over for her.
I completely agree. I was really looking forward to seeing Tayshia. Plus, I was over them mentioning that she's the oldest Bachelorette every 5 minutes. I was like, even when I said it in this show, I was like, did I really need to mention that again? Like, I was just kind of over it. So I was happy to see a new face, new energy. They even threw in new men. So that was really exciting to see. So we did touch on it a little. Dale, what do we think about Clare and Dale together? Do we like them? Do we not? Haley, we'll start with you.
I'm happy for Claire that she finally found the love that she was looking for. She had been struggling for so long to really find a relationship that was good for her, that she was happy in. And from the moment that she met Dale and she said, I feel like I just met my husband, I knew that it was kind of gonna go from there and be something that she really wanted to pursue. So I'm happy that she's with Dale. I hope it works out in their favor, that it's not just another couple in Bachelorette history that doesn't work out. But we'll see what happens in the coming months on their social medias, in the coming years when they hopefully get married, and we'll see from there.
Similar feelings to you, Haley. I was very excited for Claire, and I am very excited, and I hope it all works out. I will say, though, that some of the social media stuff making fun of them is very funny, in my opinion. Like the TikTok sounds of where she goes, Dale. Dale. I like cannot help but laugh, and I found myself like even while watching the show going, Dale. But I almost wish they were able to do some sort of like hometown or something with Dale too and his family. I know it was super short, like their time. I think I read somewhere that Claire's like season was only like 12 days long. So like even his family would have had to start quarantining like 2 days before they started filming for them to even, I guess, make it on for his proposal and I guess to like meet Claire and everything. Yeah, I hope it works out for them. And I also think it's really funny when they compare Dale to like the little girl from the Polar Express and things like that, like all the people he looks like. That's a personal favorite of mine. But I really do hope it works out for them.
I completely agree. When they compare Dale to the little girl in the Polar Express, if you have not seen that meme, I think I need you to Google it because it is so spot on and so funny. But I do wish Claire and Dale the best. It was a little crazy. I know the Bachelorette, the whole thing is you get engaged at an extremely fast pace, but they didn't even know each other for 2 weeks. So that is kind of insane, but I do wish them the best and I hope they have a great future together. But moving on, our second Bachelorette came in, the queen herself, Tayshia. Ladies, how do we feel about Tayshia as the Bachelorette?
Absolutely love Tayshia. I loved her on her first season. I forget who, was she on Pilot Pete's? Yeah, right? Or was it Ben Higgins? I want to say it was Pilot Pete. But
I
I
think it was Pete.
I'm not sure.
Maybe Ben Higgins. I want to say that. I don't know. Whenever, it had to have been Ben Higgins because she was on Paradise, and that's where I really started to like her. I really liked her and JPJ. I still love John Paul Jones. I hope he's doing well. I think he's just such a funny character. And I think Tayshia's awesome. I really think she's so honest, and I think it's interesting too because she has been married before, so she kind of same to Claire, like that veteran experience, whereas I know in most recent seasons a lot of people have been complaining that some of these people on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are like 22 years old. I turned 22 in May. I could not imagine at this point in life getting engaged or any of that. So I think it's nice to have these older people with a little bit more experience, and Tayshia's fantastic.
Just as all the men said when they first met Tayshia, I just loved her energy when she walked in the room. She just had this glow about her, and she really made this season fun to watch. I have loved all of the group dates and one-on-ones and all of the relationships and connections that she has had with literally every single man, even the ones that she sent home early. There was something there. So overall, I just really liked Tayshia from the beginning. I didn't watch Bachelor in Paradise, so I didn't have any previous knowledge of her relationships or the other seasons that she was on. So kind of coming into it new was really interesting for me.
I personally have been loving Tayshia. When she walked in that gold dress, my breath was taken away. She was beautiful. The guys were immediately were like, we need Tayshia. It was really wonderful to see. And even throughout the season, like her whole thing has been, I just want you to be open and honest with me. And the emotion that she's getting out of these guys is unreal. So it's really nice to see her as the Bachelorette and how well she's doing. And moving on more into the season, let's talk about the biggest drama of the season. Noah and Bennett. Bennett felt that Noah wasn't here for the right reasons. Noah felt that Bennett was pretentious and conniving, and he gave him that whole gift and the whole thing about the 4 languages of intelligence, I believe he said. Ladies, how do we feel about this drama between them? Haley, we'll start with you.
So overall, I thoroughly enjoy Bachelorette drama. So overall, I loved that this was able to happen. But I do have to agree with both guys in part. I do think Bennett is in the right when he says that Noah's kind of immature. He doesn't feel that he is here for the right reasons. He doesn't have the emotional intelligence to be with Tayshia. And on the same part, I agree with Noah saying that Bennett's from Harvard. He is very pretentious. He knows it. That's why he was so condescending when speaking to him. But overall, the gift I thought was hilarious. He put some funny things in there at the beginning, but then he really wanted, I believe, to help him, and that's why he gave him the book. Yes, he was kind of doing it as a look at what I'm bringing you and you don't belong here. But overall, he wanted to help him. He wanted to say, you're deficient in all of these things, work on it, and maybe later in life you'll find a woman because you have gained this experience and because you now are mature enough for it.
I will also say that Tayshia had some fantastic men. Like, the men on this season have all been really great guys. I love most of them. I will say that in the beginning, I really did like Bennett. He kind of, especially with the glasses, gave me like a little Clark Kent vibe that was like really cute. And I was like, ooh, I like you. But then he started getting a little bit too cocky. I will say too, especially because they made it pretty far. I don't see either of them with Tayshia at all, whereas like the remaining men, I'm sure we're going to talk about them later, are all great, and I can see them all with Tayshia, but the 2 of them, I'm like, what are you doing? I did love when Noah shaved his mustache with Tayshia. I thought that was like a cute little segment there. And the gift, my jaw was on the floor when they went and met and they did the little like Bennett packing up. It was like the socks and the book, and then they were explaining it, and then I was like, Tayshia, ask about the book, ask about the book, ask about the gift, like when it was on the table. But I do think too, like, that was such a big plot line that it almost took away from things like other men that made it further. But I do think that they're funny, and I hope to see them in some sort of other situation in like the Bachelor franchise, like maybe Paradise or something, because I could see them like stirring up drama there too, and then maybe finding women that are a little bit better for them, because I honestly didn't see either of them with Tayshia at all.
I completely agree. I felt like this was almost the drama between the B-list, is what I thought. Like, we knew that neither of these men were going to end up with Tayshia. They made it far, and I think they deserved to make it as far as they did, but there was no way they were going to hometowns. Like, you could kind of just tell. And neither of them, I know, like, I feel like Noah was almost a little bit right in this whole thing because Bennett was pretentious, but even on that, like, 2-on-1 kind of deal, I was like, just send them both home. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't think either of them are worth your time. Tayshia's a queen and deserves the best. She could do better than both and is doing better than both. So let's take a little break from Bennett and Noah. There are also so many great guys on this season, as Ash said. What's a guy, in your opinion, that didn't make it to the final 3 that you think really deserves a little more recognition? Ellie, we'll start with you.
So overall, my favorite from the beginning was Ben. So I was really sad to see him sent home. But overall, I think Tayshia was correct with sending him home. He said that he loved her, but he didn't bring this to Tayshia. So she, like he said, didn't know that he loved her. He didn't know that the feelings were there. So she felt that it was the right thing to do with sending Ben home because she felt like she had a better chance with Ivan or Zach or Brendan. And then another guy that I really, really liked was Easy from even Claire's introductions. I loved Easy. It just made me really sad that she invited him on the one-on-one. She had a really good time, and then overall he didn't get the one-on-one rose and he was eventually sent home. So my heart ached a little for Easy. I hope to see him back in Paradise. If not, that's okay too.
I think also everyone, social media, I think all of Bachelor Nation really loves Ben, as they should. I love Ben. Like when he was leaving the other night, I was like, no, don't go, come here. He also gives me like kind of Tyler Cameron vibes a little bit, who I think stole the show with Hannah Brown's season and still is super popular. I mean, his best friend Matt James is going to be our next Bachelor, which I'm also very excited about. But Ben is fantastic. And another one that I really, really liked too was Riley. And I think he too, and I know it's a little bit harder for the men, and it's so different, the dynamics from like The Bachelor to The Bachelorette, because the drama even is so different, and the way that, I guess, the contestants, if you want to call them, get like deep is a little bit different. And I think Riley just got too deep, too little, too late, unfortunately. But I think he was great also, and I hope to see him in another capacity like that of like The Bachelor or Bachelor in Paradise. And then I literally follow him on TikTok. I'm also on the Bachelor, Bachelorette side of TikTok. So it's very fun to see. And someone pointed out that in every caption since going on the show, he has something like, I love you in his caption, because he couldn't say it to Tayshia. And I guess maybe this is his way of saying it now, or hinting at, I also saw, because everyone else that got sent home kind of posted a thank you for this experience. Thank you, Tayshia. Like, I wish you the best of luck. Like, thank you for everything. But Ben did not post anything. So maybe we're not done with him yet. Maybe we're not, or maybe he's just so heartbroken still that he hasn't posted anything. And if he comes back, I will be so excited. I mean, the other three men, we're going to get to them also. I think they're great. But Ben really, he's a good one.
Oh, trust me, I will be bringing up Ben later. Don't worry, his name is not done in this show. But my pick was also Riley. I just felt like the emotion he showed, like there were times where like tears were like a little like right there swelling in my eyes because of just the relationship he had with Tayshia. And he just seems like a genuinely nice guy who is there for the right reasons that I just really want to give a hug to. I'd really love to see him again continue in the Bachelor universe, maybe on Paradise. I wouldn't even be mad if he was the next Bachelor. So just throwing that out there, Bachelor Nation. Let's move to the final three guys. So when we left Tayshia, she has Ivan, Zach, and Brendan. What do we think of the three guys Tayshia has left? Ash, we'll start with you.
As I've been saying, the men on this season I think are all fantastic. I really shout out to ABC, their casting. I think they really did a good job, especially in the midst of a pandemic. Three amazing men, four maybe if Ben comes back. And I guess to go through all of them, I think Brendan is really great. I feel like there's something that, like, it's not to say it's too good to be true with him, but I feel like there's something that's going to come up and he doesn't seem like fully ready yet, even though I think Tayshia really likes him. Zach, I think, is fantastic too. I'll be honest, it wasn't until like a few weeks ago that like I really realized who he was. Like, you know how sometimes there's those guys that are kind of just in the background that like get the rose every week and you don't necessarily have, you're kind of indifferent to. I think Zach was one of those to me until more recently when things did, I guess, progress a little bit more. I think he's a really good guy, love a New Yorker. Hope Tayshia ends up in New York with him maybe to like run into them. But I love Ivan. I think he's so fantastic. I think he's so cute. When his brother came in during the hometown last week, my jaw dropped. I literally almost started crying. I was like, this is so cute, and how like family oriented he is and everything. I even again saw a TikTok of him and his mom cooking like this, one of the same things that him and Tayshia were cooking last week, and so precious, all of them.
I'm going to start with Ivan. I just think he is the sweetest thing. Their one-on-one that they had in her room with the ice cream and the board games and the room service and the pillow fights, I just thought that was to die for. He really opened up with her early, which I think was really good. Tayshia got to see the personal things. He opened up a lot. So I think they have a really good emotional connection. Physical, I don't see it as much as maybe Zach or Brendan. Zach, when he came in and he opened up as well to Tayshia, he has a lot of baggage, a lot of dark past experiences, and Tayshia being able to accept that and be so open to what Zach has gone through, I just think is beautiful. And then Brendan, I just find him so charming. There's just something about him that I love. And them, both Tayshia and Brendan, them being able to have the same experience going through a divorce, I just find that really heartwarming that they can kind of go through the same things. And if they end up together, it's something that they can work through in their future.
I completely agree with what you guys said. I'll go into it a little. I'll start with Zach. Definitely the more serious the relationship there, just because everything he's been through and everything they've talked about. But still a very cute relationship. I love that hometown date with like the taxi and stuff. I thought that was adorable. Brendan, I don't see him making it to the proposal night. I'm going to be honest. I like him, but in my eyes, I feel like he's not at the same level as the other two are. Ivan, I think he's so adorable. I mean, again, that date with the pillow fight, and they're just watching a movie of like Tayshia's old like videos from when she was a kid, and just how cute they interact. I can really see them being a really cute couple, and I really hope that she ends up with him, but that's fine. So what are everyone's predictions for the two-part finale? We have an episode Monday and an episode Tuesday. Ash, we'll start with you.
Okay, I'm saying it. I'm going to put it out into the universe now. Maybe, I mean, I know it's all filmed and edited already, but I'm going to manifest, I guess you could say, Ben coming back. I hope he does. I don't necessarily know, though, if they'll end up together. I'm Team Ivan, personally. But also I'm unsure, like as Haley said, that like physical connection isn't there as much. I could see also something kind of spicy happening with Brendan, where I feel like he's going to get like cold feet and he's not going to be able to go through with all of it. I don't know if it'll be like a mutual decision or him like ultimately deciding like, you know, I'm not in the right place for this and you deserve more right now. So I guess that kind of leaves us with Zach, who I think I guess is going to end up with. And I really do like Zach too, even though I said he was that like background, whatever. But I really do like him. And I'm hoping maybe Ivan could be like a bachelor one day, because I know we already have Matt James. So we're like a full year back now with whoever the next bachelor is, I guess. But I love Ivan, and I'm hoping we're not done with Ben yet, because my TV will miss him otherwise.
I was also thinking the same thing and manifesting. I think Ben is going to come back as well. Overall, I don't think he's going to be the one that's chosen or the one that like wins. Like I said, I love Ivan and I love Brendan, but I think Zach is overall going to be chosen. He's the one that's going to propose. They'll become engaged. But I actually think this is kind of going to be like Pilot Pete's season, where she picks Zach, but in the end, things don't work out. And like Peter went to Madison, I think that Tayshia I don't know who she's going to choose overall, but I think she's going to leave Zach and choose Ivan or Brendan or hopefully Ben.
That was such a hot take. I'm living for it. But I have to say my prediction was I think Brendan is going home after the fantasy suites. I think Zach and Ivan have a bigger connection. I also think we're going to see Ben again. I know we've said it twice now, but the way it ended, I mean, he's like in the car, like freaking out. I think he's going to get the courage. He's going to go up to her. He's going to say, I love you. And I don't think Tayshia's going to pick him. I think the way that breakup went, and she was like, I wish you just showed me some form of emotion, shows a lot about where her head is at with him. So I don't think he's going to make it. But I do think the final two are going to be Zach and Ivan. So ladies, real quick, who do we think is going to win? Ash?
I kind of said it already. I think it's going to be Zach. Haley, your theory just really sent me for a loop. And then I wonder, will there be like a Kelly involved? You know how Kelly got sent home pretty early on, not early on, but like didn't make it to the very end with Pilot Pete, and then now they're together. Because Tayshia did have really good guys, so I don't think it'll be like a Bennett or a Noah, but like maybe like Riley could be our sleeper here. But I'm truly, in my heart, I want Ivan, but I think Zach will ultimately be the one that after the final rose will be sitting with Tayshia talking to Chris Harrison.
I think Zach is also going to win, but like I said, I really think that some type of Hannah Ann Madison Kelly situation is going to happen. I've been thinking this all season. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens during this 2-part finale. We'll have to see what happens in the coming months, and we'll go from there.
I personally really want Ivan to win, but I think it's going to be Zach, and it makes me a little sad, but hopefully we'll see him again, maybe in Paradise or even the next Bachelor would be awesome. But that's all the time we have for this episode of Will You Accept This Rose? Thank you, Ashley and Haley, so much for being here. Tune in on Wednesday for the next episode after the 2-part finale. We'll be breaking down what we thought. See you soon.